Good day, dear friends. Today we are talking about the most important but most unpredictable topics. It's the earthquake of the islands, north and south part. Earthquakes are beyond our control, but what actually truly matters and what depends on us, it's how we are prepared to face with it. Because as its saying goes, forewarned is forearmed. In this video we will talk about why earthquakes happen, where they occur most often on the islands, which areas of North Cyprus are considered as the safer places, and what the experts talk about the future risks. The island lies in a geologically active zone, the right between the African and Anatolian tectonic plates. That's why the islands occasionally experience tremors, sometimes mild, but sometimes more noticeable. If you look at the geological map, you will see nearby the fault system, the Cyprus Arc, the Dead Sea Fault, and the Eastern Anatolian Fault. These faults, it's like a cracks in the Earth's crust where the energy builds up. When the energy is released, we feel it's an earthquake. Over the past 10 years, personally, me and my family experienced several earthquakes following from January 2021 and actually February 2023 and this November 2025. For me, one of the most noticeable was in January 2021. It was in the afternoon, and we feel actually when the bed was slightly moving. It was strange and unsettling feeling, but didn't last so long. At night time in 2023, when the earthquake happened, the most citizens of Kyrenia just slept right through it, and they didn't feel any tremors at that time. And this November, another earthquake happened, but on the south side, but the Kyrenia citizens also felt a bit weak tremors, and just remind us that the island lives in motion. The epicenters of the recent earthquakes were actually happened on the Paphos coastline, with the magnitude ranging between the 5.2 and 5.5. Of course, they felt across the whole island, but of course mostly more noticeable in south side. According to the different monitoring agencies, the magnitude was ranged between the 5.2 and 5.7, followed by about 12 aftershocks, and with the strongest magnitude was 4.6. Earthquakes, actually, unfortunately, the parts of the island's life, some of the most destructive ones were periods in 1222, in 1752, in 1941, and in 1953. 1222, the earthquake with a magnitude over 7 actually occurred in the Paphos area and destroyed part of the Paphos and triggered actually a tsunami. In 1953, the strong earthquake also hit the same area and killed around 40 people, and also appeared with the wave over 1 meter high. The island sits along the Hellenic seismic arc, where the African plate slowly subducts beneath the Eurasian plate. That's why the island will remain a zone of moderate seismic activity. The Japanese earthquake expert Yoshinori Mariwaki says there is no reason to expect major earthquake in near future on the island, since much of accumulated energy were released during the devastated Kahramanmaraş earthquake in Turkey in 2023. Paleoseismologist Dr. Ramazan Demirtaş noted that the large-scale earthquake might occur just once every 1,000 years, with potential risk zones in Idlib and also near the Cape Zafer, that's located on the island's northeast. But all the experts agree on one thing, that none of the earthquakes can be predicted, and we don't know when the earthquake will happen, but at least we can prepare to it. Now we will talk about which region of the North Cyprus actually more safer and which is more vulnerable. The northern slopes of the Kyrenia Mountains are actually estimated as the safer place. Karşıyaka area, Alsancak, Lapta, and the Santep area. Here the ground is solid rock, that's why the soil doesn't move so much. Seismic waves weaken quickly, and that's why the soil here is more stable and the building tends to remain stable. The more vulnerable zones are estimated close to Famagusta, Güzelyurt, and some of the district of Lefkoşa. These are flat lowland areas with the soft alluvial soils and high groundwater levels. During the earthquake, this soil amplifies the shaking. In an extreme cases, it actually can behave like a liquid, and this phenomenon calls liquefaction. Let's answer the question, are the high-rise buildings dangerous in North Cyprus? If the building properly designed and actually take into consideration earthquake and all the soil tested has been done, then the building is safe. However, the area with the soft soil like Famagusta is more vulnerable, and all the high-rise building actually shaking and tend to sway more during the earthquakes. In contrast, Kyrenia region and the all mountainside areas have the rocky and stable soil, and that's why even high-rise building relatively stable. Still, if you have a choice, it's actually more safer to live in a low-rise building or detached villa. That simply reduce the risks. Actually, the question how to stay safe in this situation, and we have some advices for you. Actually, it's better to keep a small aid at home, like a flashlight with water or the first aid. You have to identify the safest spots at home, for instance, under the sturdy table and beside the load-bearing wall. Of course, most important, after the shaking stops, don't use the elevator and don't panic, stay calm. Earthquake is something that we cannot predict, it cannot stop. But actually we can prepare ourselves, prepare our homes, and just to know how to act. If you found this video useful, don't forget to subscribe and follow for the new updates. Stay safe.